We're live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bait Shop. I am Chad. My co-host, as always, Mr. Freddy's Outdoor Adventures. And our guest tonight, LG Tomcat.
Hello, hello.
Also known as LGBASS, but I have not been able to convince Michelle to let Tom change his name yet. So it's a work in progress. It'll probably never happen, but we'll see.
Well,
how you doing tonight, Tom?
I'm doing well. Just to give you a little bit of background right there, I actually did change my name for about 10 minutes. We were in a tournament down on the dock one night. I think it was one of Aaron's tournaments, and everybody in the chat was saying, can you at least change your name for the night? And okay, fine. I'm LG Cats for the night. And 10 minutes later, I caught a 4.5-pound largemouth on cut bait. And I said, the gods have spoken, and I changed it back.
I remember you telling us about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say hello to all of LG and Freddy's fans. We got Avid Fisherman, Hooks and Hammocks, James Kirkpatrick, Buck Williams. Oh, excuse me. Lyle from Panfish Nation, Mr. Member. I appreciate you, sir. Crappy Day Fish on, my beautiful, wonderful, amazing, awesome wife, D. Tom's beautiful, amazing, awesome wife, Michelle. It's all mine. I gotta start sucking up to her since you don't yell at me too bad during the show.
Yeah.
Let's see.
James Kirkpatrick, Two Stands Fishing, Quiet Man Curtis, Matt from Wanna Be Outdoors. Hey, I'm getting there. Oh, and it jumped on me. Dale Hayslip, Mark Floppy, Skip from Clearview Outdoors, my hero, Fishing for Whiskers, Parker Pursuits, and Art, the One Ton Fishing Club. 1-tonners for life.
What's that? One tonners for life?
That's right. And Telly from Hooks and Hammocks, the beautiful, lovely, wonderful Telly from Hooks and Hammocks.
Telly Cats.
Terry Johnson, Real and Virtual Outdoors, Troy, Cody from 3+1, and I think I'm close to the bottom.
I think you are too. I am. We got Parker Pursuits as well. Can't ever forget my buddy Jerry Parker. All right. Well, let's get serious as we always do here on the Bait Shop.
No, not really.
Oh, I got questions. I got a list of questions.
Yeah, you got questions.
From your adoring fans.
Mrs. Whisker Dreams has joined us.
Hey, Mrs. Whisker Dreams. I just want to make sure I don't get yelled at, because you do have adoring fans, and the folks at home want to know some very, very important questions.
Just so you know, just a heads up, I don't have a second device so that I can't see the chat, what's going on. And I feel good about that, because now Miss Michelle cannot yell at me from the other room for missing comments in the chat while I'm live. So
well, don't worry,
I got a freebie tonight.
Freddie and I both can see the chat, and we probably will still miss half of it. So that's because Freddie doesn't do his job.
Hey, this is the first time in like 4 weeks that I've actually been in the office. I've been on the road the past 4 weeks. So.
Yeah, normally he's just playing around trying to collect a paycheck.
Well, if you miss it, Miss Michelle will let you know. So
I appreciate her a whole lot. At least there's Kyle from the One Ton Fishing Club as well. And I think Want to Be Outdoors has made it in. What's going on, Matt? I'm going to kick it off with question number one. I think this is an easy question that we're all going to know the answer to. Is the dock really Michelle, since it's all hers?
Yes.
See, that was an easy question. See, look, we're being. I feel like right now we're on the same caliber as like No Script. We have scripted out questions that we're asking here, and it's going very well. And
yeah,
Michelle,
it's all hers. I just write out the checks every year. The car, the kitchen, and all that stuff. I write them out the checks, but they're all hers. She won't let me forget it.
And she agreed right there. She said yes. Capital letters with an exclamation point. It's hers.
Question number 2 for Tom from his adoring fan. Right now, the fan is being remaining anonymous here because I'm not telling you who it is. But when did you realize when you moved in, did you realize the dock would be so famous?
No. We moved in here right around 2000. And at the time I was in the middle of going through a divorce at the time that I had met Michelle, and I was still working up in DC full time. So this house is roughly 3 hours from DC. And I knew that I wanted to retire on a bass lake, and we had been fishing this lake with my club and with some buddies of mine. And we would come down here pretty often. And so I went looking for a house just so I'd have a retirement home that I could start paying off. And I bass fished right up until COVID. I never sat on that dock in a chair and fished for anything. I might go down there and fish for bass every now and then for a half an hour before dinner. But I had never targeted catfish until 2 years ago.
I'm so proud that you finally grew up 2 years ago. Excuse me. Promised myself I wouldn't cry.
But yeah, it's coming along. I think I started fishing during COVID when the bite was really good. In that spring bite when the bigger fish are moving, and it was April, and said, "Hey, this is going to be easy. This is fun. We're catching fish all the time." And then last summer came, and it wasn't so much. And so we fished the fall, and it got better again, and then tailed off a tiny bit in the coldest part of winter, but then came back strong in the spring again. And then again, here come that summer. So now I got the pattern down. I pretty much got it figured out. When the fishing's going to be good down there, and it's starting to turn back around. It's getting cooler every day, and
love it.
They're running water every afternoon now, which they hadn't been doing for quite a while. That's the only current that the lake has, is when they run water through the dam out of Kerr. So the bite is picking back up, and I anticipate having a good fall.
Buck Williams, sorry, Freddie asked this question, highlighted this. I'm not sure we're allowed to talk about this, but what Buck wants to know: how many ways do you know how to kill a person with bare hands? And Michelle has an answer, so I want to see what your answer is compared to hers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading Mark's question. To answer Buck, I could tell you, but I have to kill you.
There you go.
There you go.
And Michelle says none. Me, on the other hand.
Oh yeah, did you see the beautiful knife that Josh made her?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I sleep with one eye open now. That night after Josh had left and we were cleaning up, and she said, she was holding that knife up in the air and says, "I want to cut something," and she's staring at me, and I started to get a little nervous.
But
then she got out some.
I know when Dee gets that look in her eye.
Yeah. She got out a whole thing of nuts for something she was going to make, and she chopped them up in like 3 seconds. It's like, I like this. I said, wow. As long as you're over there.
A dock does not make a man famous. The man makes the dock famous. That is so true.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Look, I'm trying to keep up with the key chat here, Chad, okay?
Hey, keep it going, brother. Keep it going. Because I'm going to keep. We're taking people back. So up until 2020, Tom was all about that bass. So
that's right.
Questions that I have is it still a secret that you are the legend that taught people like Kevin Van Dam, Mike Iaconelli, all these Bassmaster Classic guys how to fish? Is it still a secret?
No, I think the secret's out. Yeah, they knew more. They knew they know more about fishing, bass fishing, than I will ever know in my life. But those are some great fishermen. I've actually had the opportunity to meet them, some of those guys, and
Really?
I've hung out with a couple of them, and they're just the nicest people. You know, that they're not like you see some sports figures and musicians and all. They're very down to earth, and they just like having a good time like everybody else when they're not doing their job.
Troy from Real Virtual Outdoors wants to know, how deep is the water around your dock?
Troy, the water right at the end of the dock is only about 2.5, 3 feet. And it goes out on a flat to about 6 feet. It's about 70 plus yards from the dock, and then drops down into the old river channel that was flooded to create Lake Gaston. And it drops down from like 6, 7 feet down to 25 almost immediately. And so that's the zone that we try to stay in. You either want to be deep, or you want to be right on the top of that ledge. And that seems to be where the majority of our better fish come from.
So is it safe to assume now that are you classifying yourself now as a pure cat fisherman? Oh, come on, Art.
Well, he does hold the dock record, so there's something to be said for that. I was happy as could be to be a part of that night. What a moment. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, so all those years of bass fishing and all that kind of stuff, and I know you've talked about it before. You have loads of, bass fishing gear and closets and everything else, but the bass boat's still setting up in the driveway and all that sort of thing. But are you a fully converted cat fisherman now?
I think so. To be honest, I think well, I did that for 30 years, and it may always be a part of me, but the desire to go out, and obviously you bass fish in the hottest part of the day, on the weekend when you're tournament fishing anyways, when all the pleasure boaters are out and the jet skis, and all the watercraft and all that, and you're bouncing up and down, and that heat's reflecting off the deck of the boat. And I'm getting older, and that just isn't as much fun as it used to be when I was younger and my body could take that pounding. The trolling motor is, when you're on a bass boat, the trolling motor is on your foot. It's not with the remote. So you're standing up there being bounced around and all that, and the wind beating you in the face. And at 58, that's just not as appealing to me anymore.
Michelle is correcting you and saying that Freddie is correct, not fully converted.
I met, first off, when I first came into the community, I saw one time they were showing up in some of the lives, and I heard them say that they were from Virginia, and that they fished over on Kerr Lake, which is right next to Lake Gaston. Yeah. And one afternoon they were live, and I saw them, and I knew exactly where they were fishing at the boat landing where they were at. And, I said, do you mind if I come over, while you guys are fishing? I'll bring you a coffee. It was winter. It was cold.
Seems like I remember that.
Yeah, that was the beginning of it. So I met Josh and Art, and Kyle shortly thereafter, but we started fishing together on the weekends. And they said, hey, there's a guy that we found in chat, Aaron, he's from North Carolina, but he's coming up to fish with us. Okay, great. More the merrier. So he brought his buddy, Sean, who was the wandering fisherman.
Yeah, I remember.
He's not all that active anymore because he's moved away. But a great guy.
Is he wandering around?
Yeah, he's wandering.
Yeah. Okay.
He's still fishing. I see pictures every now and then from him, but they come up and we fish together, and pretty much I've told the story before. that Aaron was a little cranky when we got there.
I've never noticed him to be able to be cranky.
Yeah, well, maybe I shouldn't say that then. I don't want to ruin his mystique.
Don't ruin his sweetheart reputation.
Yeah, but it come down to that he didn't want to fish with chicken, and we were getting bid on chicken, and it's the winter time. They're not active. They're not chasing anything. And he was pretty adamant he wasn't going to use it. And when we were done, I said, man, he's be polite. Man, he's a cranky guy, man. That guy Sean was fun, but Aaron was kind of a downer. And I said, I don't know if he'll come fish with us anymore. And halfway through the week, it was like maybe Wednesday in the middle of the week after we had fished, he sent me a message. Hey, how do I make that chicken concoction you guys use? And we have fished together almost every Friday night since until he recently, he got hurt. So he hasn't been able to get out as much. But we fished almost every Friday night for about a year and a half.
Nice.
Yep. Chris wants to know about your fishing closet.
Yeah, it's my man closet. I don't have a whole room. All I have is a walk-in closet that was converted. We put up shelving, and my OCD made me do that. I have all of my crankbaits organized by maker. If I have different sizes from the same maker, they have their own box, and everything's labeled. You could say, go pick out the most obscure bait, and in 30 seconds, I could be back with it in my hand. I have the crankbaits up on the shelves. I have soft plastics down underneath everything. There's boxes for all the reels I've ever bought. I have all the original boxes in case you need to send them back. And everything's well organized. It's overcrowded now. I got to go through it again and try to find a way to create more room in there. But it's all bass stuff. My catfish stuff stays in. Miss Michelle will tell you if she hasn't already. Stays in the corner in the living room and in her dining room. So because there just isn't room for it in the bass closet.
Well, that was going to be one of the next questions here on your, your fan list here of questions that was sent to me. What are you going to do with all your bass gear now that you're a fully converted cat fisherman?
A lot of it has sentimental value to it that I probably couldn't recoup selling them at a yard sale for $1 a piece, so.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a lot of custom poured soft plastics, unique designs, one of a kind, or, stuff you can't go into Walmart or Bass Pro and buy. And, of course, you got to have every color known to man. So, I have, when I don't buy one, I buy one, a pack of every color that I buy of the guy, whatever I'm buying. So I have a ton of it. I know Michelle would love to see it go, but
she says don't touch the bass gear.
Wow, that surprises me. I think she would. She really needs some more closet space for some pots and pans and kitchen items because we have overgrown our kitchen. And don't even get started on the renovation.
Space, maybe, or some living room space. It looks like you got stuff in the living room too.
Yeah, well, the living room, behind there's stuff in the living room.
Yep.
The thing is, when the boys were here, we had 3 sons and we all lived in this house and we all fit in this house. And now that they're gone, we should have had more room, but we've spread out. And like she took one of the kids' bedrooms and made it into the formal dining room, we just seem to have less space now than when there were 5 of us living here. It's just the 2 of us and 2 dogs.
Well,
you in trouble, Chad.
I am in trouble. I thought that all she did, other than claim everything, is sit at home and come up with amazing food prep ideas all the time. I had no idea that she was also into the bass fishing world. So
she does fish. Well, she has fished. It's been a long time. more so when our youngest was still young and he was enjoying the bass fishing, and she would go out with me on the boat on the weekends when I would come down and take the boat out, and but not so much anymore. Matter of fact, the night that Art caught the 93, I called her on the phone. I was all excited, man. It was the middle of the night. I wanted to tell somebody, and I knew she was up. I said, "Hey, we got a monster on the dock. You want to see it?" She said, "You got my Jeep." I said, "I'll come up the hill and get you." And I can't tell you what she said into the phone before she hung up on me, because it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. But she wasn't as happy that I called as I thought she would have been. She could have been a part of the dock lore that night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can I say that? I don't know if we will ever catch a fish that big off that dock again.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
definitely
we keep going
tough to beat.
Yeah.
You've got some amazing water down there that's part of you. That's all a part of. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's always the opportunity. You know, probably everybody that's listening probably knows, but Gaston used to be the home of the North Carolina state record.
Yeah.
Even though we border Virginia and North Carolina, but they were 121.7 or 121.6 until Rocky Baker caught that one in the Roanoke River. And actually, the Roanoke River is the river that runs through here. It's just that it's dammed up, on Lake Gaston.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, because it's all basically connected through there, right? It just.
Yeah.
Even like, is it Kerr? Kerr's above.
Yep.
Gaston, right? And the Roanoke River, and there's another one up there on Kerr, right? Or
the Dan River, the Dan and the Staunton are all pretty much what forms Kerr. Okay. And the Roanoke continued through us, and now below on the other end of Gaston, there's another smaller lake called Roanoke Rapids Lake, and that has a dam at both ends. And once you get into that, it goes back to the original Roanoke River, and that's where Rocky Baker caught that fish.
Uncle Jeff says, "Who's coming to the dock next week?"
Next.
Next. Yeah, I added words.
Nobody this week that I know of. May I?
Well, should I ask my question now?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I got comment. Everybody, it was hiding towards Tom's face, but is it true that you will be having new neighbors soon?
That is true. I have been informed that Freddie and Nina.
What?
And Chris and Telly.
What?
Will be joining me on the week of October, coming in, I believe, on the 2nd or the 3rd, and leaving on the 8th or the 9th. And they will be staying at a house right down the street from me in my development within walking distance of said dock.
That's awesome.
It's like 3 docks from the dock or something like that. That's how close it is. Like 3 to 5 from the dock. So.
Yep. You better bring your walking shoes though, because they call this place the Cliffs on the Roanoke for a reason. If you want to use that boat barn, you probably got about 100 steps to go up to get up to where that house is. So wear your walking shoes.
We're definitely excited about that. Nina's done nothing but message Telly left and right. Look, and then
I'm sure
she jumped in. She's at work right now, but she had to stop just to say hey, and she can't wait. Like I said, she's so excited.
Hey, Nina. Looking forward to it.
I was waiting for it. Yep.
You could come.
Nope. And we're not blaming you or Michelle. Oh, I just heard Freddie from the other room.
Whoa. I wasn't the first one. Chris and Telly already had planned to go. And while we were at Wiley, they told us that they were going.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I talked to Nina, and then that turned into me and Nina going with Chris and
Yeah.
Kelly. But Chad,
Well,
we
hold
have
on,
a
hold on.
house rented.
Hold on. So, Tom, I want to tell you, I want to back this up and tell you a story about, when we came out there, we visited you and we went down to the Wiley trip. And, when we were on Lake Wiley, we, got a nice place for us to stay. We invited Chris and Telly, and we invited Freddie and Nina. And unfortunately, Nina had to work that weekend, but, we, engaged them to spend that time with us and be in that place and on the water, with each other, and just a memorable time. And then turn into the fall, and you see how this has now changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that we pretty much left it when you left here last time that you were going to make this an annual trip.
Yeah, we are
I
talking
think
about
you got
making
your
this
own
an
week.
annual trip. Yeah.
You got your own week at the dock.
You hear that, Freddie and Chris? D and I will just take it. Oh, who let you back in?
Look, right there it is. Telly even said it. They told us that they were going there in October while we were at Wiley.
Oh, it must have been while D and I was at the store or cooking food. Wait a minute, maybe not.
Mm.
And
There is room for you if you want to come. But I know you're really busy at work right now.
Yeah, every day I'm busy at work. Let's not even bring that word up.
But I know, though, too, that you're going to be busy while they're here. Isn't the last weekend of their trip is the first weekend of the couples tournament?
That is very true. What is it, October 8th and 9th? They will be fishing the couples showdown. So,
Yep. I don't know if they're going to fish from here or over at Kerr or whatever. We haven't talked yet, but this was, I think Chris and Telly were here last year for the couples tournament from the dock.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because it was raining so hard when they were down there.
Yeah, and then after the tournament ended, I think they caught a whole bunch more fish than they did during the tournament.
Right.
Yeah, we're excited because Chris and Telly and me and Nina are in the couples tournament on the 8th, so we'll both be fishing right there. Who knows? One of us might be on one side of the dock and the other on the other side. Depends on the weather.
Maybe one of the ladies will catch what used to be 90. Was it 92 or 93 pounds?
I think it's 93. Because I think we originally said it was 92, but when we reweighed the net, it came up that we were off by like 7 ounces or something like that. So we bumped it to 93.
So maybe that fish would probably be about 100 pounds, at least 100 pounds this year.
Oh yeah, maybe 110.
So good luck to Telly and Nina, not Freddie and Chris. Shut up, Curtis.
Telly's got those beautiful rods she just got in the mail.
What's that?
Telly's got those beautiful purple rods she got in the mail.
That she does. I got the Uncle Lou Blue, is what we're going to call the new one. The Uncle Lou Blue.
Yeah, so, I got the blue and the purple, and I already had the orange. The other night I went down and I fished. I only caught 3 fish, but I caught one on all 3 of the Uncle Lou rods. I only brought down those 3 rods.
Yeah, I see. It was titled something like Uncle Lou something.
Yeah, Uncle Lou's Army.
Uncle Lou's Army. Yeah.
Army of Uncle Lou's rods.
That's right.
And I got one on each one, so I was happy. And just to keep things equal, they were all about the same size fish. They were all right about 5-6 pounds.
That's my boy 2 stands.
Hey, just to answer, I saw that Freddie put up Stan's question earlier about who was the second person from Virginia. That would be Mr. Stan.
Correct.
Yep, we had a get-together up in Richmond. It was the one-tonners and myself and Stan 2 and 3, as I call them, Stan 5 when they're together. And Timmy from Chesapeake Bay Catfishing, Kelly Bullock's brother, came down. and we got to meet him that afternoon. And we had, with the 23 rods out along the bank of the James. And there was one fish caught in the first 10 minutes we were there that weighed about a pound. And after that, we never got a bite the rest of the day.
Too many rods, y'all confused them.
That's right.
Yeah, they were over chickened, I think.
Hey, maybe you just need to change the flavor up on that chicken. Add a little like I don't know, a little lemon pepper to it or something.
Yeah. So, well, see, that's the thing. You know, this is when I was very first getting into it, and I didn't know about things like the anise and the lemon Kool-Aid, or the strawberry Jello, or it was just okay. You throw it in a bag and you pour salt in there and you let it. You drain the water out. That's all I knew about fishing with chicken at the time.
You already know more than I do.
Hey, I can't say that I can't knock it. It works. Especially in the colder weather, that works here.
It does on occasion. Probably more than I give it credit, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Tom?
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's I gotta go back over here and make sure I got a couple more questions here that I want to make sure I get through those, because I don't want to get in trouble later by one of your biggest fans. So obviously everybody knows that Michelle is an amazing cook. If you don't know that, you can also go, not only should you go check out LGBASS YouTube channel, but you should also check out It's All Mine's YouTube channel, because she is quite the cook, and I have experienced it firsthand.
Yes.
She is a freaking
phenomenal
cook.
Yeah, and she's starting to put out a lot of videos. She came late into the videos. I didn't even think she wanted a channel when I started mine, and she knows more about it than I do. She took the time and she learned how to do stuff, and she's editing her own videos. Actually, she's editing my little videos now, again, because she likes having that power, she complains that she has to do it, but then she doesn't want to take the time to teach me how to do it. So she likes having that control. So
I'll say it's
and I'm happy to let her do it.
All hers.
What's the new thing?
What is the new thing now? Spraying bait with Pam cooking spray. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Used to be Mid-South Outdoors. It's can't remember what it is now. But they did some kind of video with using Pam cooking spray on chicken. So
just made it oil. I think it's more about getting more oil on it, so it gets out in the water faster.
Well, the only thing I did like about doing something like that versus something like, people years ago, like WD-40 would be what, stuff like that people would be using. And I'd rather put a real, animal type oil or animal based stuff like that versus Catfish Karma. Thank you, Mr. Maurice. Versus some like, WD-40 or, 10W30 or something like that kind of oil in our water. So
yeah, don't let the environmentalists know you're putting WD-40 in the water.
Oh yeah, well that used to be rumors and stuff that I had heard 20, 25 years ago, catfish and people spraying a little WD-40 in their bait. And
can't even get a hello.
We haven't said people. Let me catch that up real quick, since Freddie has ignored Creole all night. Hello to my buddy Creole. I almost wore his hat tonight, but I wore it last week. I figured I'd give my one-ton brother some love tonight. We got Mr. Palmetto Cats is in the house. We got Fish Flex, who will be our guest next week. Check that out next week. We got Mr. Squirrel. We got Don R. Who else came in that you haven't said hi to? Joy Stewart.
Robin C.
Sampy. I am so sorry that Freddie has missed all of you folks tonight.
Miss Valerie Irwin. 922 Crowded Barbecue. Well, I can't help you. Won't stop talking long enough for me.
Hey, you know what?
Names.
Hey, I am proud of you. You can't line up guests. You can't make sure we say hi to everybody, but you're at least on top of the chat game of highlighting comments tonight. I appreciate the hard work. You just might get back on track to Employee of the Month. So back to the tough questions that we have for you tonight. I brought up Michelle, and like I said, make sure you guys and gals go check out Michelle's cooking channel.
Yep.
Obviously, you've had a lot of folks stop by, fish the dock, have dinner, have breakfast, whatever. But do you ever have leftovers when Michelle cooks? Answer carefully.
It depends upon how big the gathering is. If there's more than a couple guys coming, she goes way overboard, puts out a huge spread. But she gives out doggy bags to go, to the guys. Here, take this home. Take this home. Give it to share it with your wife or do whatever. And so, yeah, there's not a whole lot of leftovers when.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's got it down pretty much to a science. How much to make. She's great in the kitchen, and if there are leftovers, they don't last very long. Let's just say that.
See you, Mr. Uncle Josh.
See you, Josh.
Yeah. I think I'm a big man now, but I don't think I could live within driving distance of you guys, because I would be over a lot more and I would be a lot bigger than I am right now. So probably a good thing. Well, but then again, I'd probably be eating a lot better food than I eat right now too.
This is true. We'll all agree to that.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time that I had fast food from a restaurant. And actually, and I'll say this to anybody. It's to Michelle's detriment that she is such a fabulous cook that like one of my favorite meals is a steak, and she makes a better steak, even in the frying pan and in the oven, let alone on the grill, than any of the steak places that we have access to. So if I want a steak, she doesn't get to go out to eat, because I would prefer her stay home and cook it for me.
Well, she is an angel among angels, saint, if you will.
Yes.
I didn't think so, because I know I didn't stop eating until my plate was empty, even though I was full. Yeah. That day we were there, oh my goodness. I don't know, as tiny as my actual stomach is, I look like I could eat a, all you can eat buffet out of business, but I just kept pushing that food in it because you just couldn't stop eating it. It was so doggone good.
Well, yeah, Stan's talking about the breakfast sandwiches.
I didn't get the chance for a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, that's a breakfast thing. So you got to be here at breakfast time, give or take, because she would never serve that as your main dinner course. So keep that in mind for when you come back.
Will do.
I'll let you know how
I'm not going to call anybody out on this, but Michelle usually makes 2 sandwiches for everybody. And they all say, oh, I can't eat all that. And, I appreciate it, but one's enough. And she just leaves it there. Almost all, without exception, finish the second sandwich without hesitation. When the first one's done, they just jump right on that second one. And there was one recently who did not finish both sandwiches, but I'm not gonna mention any names. So
I think we should.
But for the most part, nope, I ain't doing it. I enjoy my friends. I want them to come back.
Bring shame upon their houses.
So Skip wants to know.
Skip.
Good. A little. You got the bass fish a little bit still, Tom.
I mean, yeah. My bass boat's in the driveway. I haven't used it in almost 2 years now. to the point that I don't want to start it without changing all the fluids. I don't want to run that stuff through it, even though I do have ethanol-free gas and all the additives and all that. But it's sat too long for me to even turn it over at this point, and I'm going to get all the fluids changed and make sure it's in good running order, and then I'm probably going to try to sell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty much, even if catfish ended, if I stopped catfishing today, I probably wouldn't go back to the bass fishing at the level that I was doing it, with the frequency and all the time and the money being spent into it and traveling, and I probably don't. That's past me at this point.
Right, Stan? I'm telling you, I think you should throw the name out there. We should bring shame upon their house.
Nope, ain't doing it. I take care of my friends, take care of me. So I ain't saying. Troy, my favorite way to catch bass, probably a suspending jerkbait. Slow moving suspending jerkbait in the winter, early spring. What'd I miss? I see pointing going on.
We're getting called into HR again.
Yeah, Chad's not talking enough.
Yeah. Takes him a while to get fired up.
All right, so back to the most important questions from one of your adoring fans. Actually, this is not from their list, but then I'll go into the other two questions that I have for you from their list. I need to know how many coffee mugs you are up to now.
Maybe 40.
So you're not quite up to the catfish per day for a year, but you could drink
For the month, I can't.
You can fill in an entire month and never use the same coffee cup, and that is all about supporting the YouTube family. A lot of these people have, Teesprings or Spread Shop or something like that, or different ways of selling whatever, Spreadshirt, whatever it is, and you are a great supporter of that and buying some of their merch and their coffee cups. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I will say that I did use my Fields to Water mug this morning.
Yeah.
And that's no slight on you, Freddie, because Freddie gave me a Freddie and Anita mug, which at the time, I don't know if it still is, but I had the only other set other than theirs. And I'm proud of that. So I can't use them both on the same day because Michelle will kill me for using two mugs. So since I could only use one today, I picked Fields to Water. But you will be in the morning, Mr. Freddie.
No biggie there, Tom. But yep, you are the only person other than me and Nina that have those mugs. So
yeah, I would use the Nina one first.
Yeah,
I would cover up the Freddie side if it's on the same cup. But
yeah, hers is prettier anyway.
But I do want Freddie to know that he used mine first.
Well, I got the bunch of yours. I got the Angry Face.
Yep.
The Hooked on Fishing. Fields to Water, and I think there's another one.
I'm trying to remember what I had. The Fishing with the Chad one, the Angry Face, Fields to Water, and the Get Hooked on D. Or no, it was just Get Hooked. It was before that she took on the name of Get Hooked on D. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the one I got. Yep.
Yeah. So,
but I think I can say this because Miss Michelle went outside for a second. The kitchen renovation that we have been talking about has been put off until the first of the year because it's going to take longer than we had anticipated, and we're going to be running into the holidays. So she has, in the new design of the kitchen, she has designed a cabinet that will have glass doors on it for all of my coffee mugs so that they can all be seen. Yep. But when you mentioned that it's been put off until January, she gets kind of sad. So she just stepped outside for a second so I can I can talk about that before she comes back.
Got it. No problem at all. So I'm going to ask. This is the time where we have the toughest questions coming now. Okay.
All right.
So, hard question number one. And I think it's an easy one. I mean, you'll understand when I ask it. But out of all the people that have visited the dock now, who has been your most favorite guest?
You're setting me up.
I'm giving you the easy.
And back to the other questions, Tom.
Wait a minute. I have an answer for him, actually.
Okay.
I do have an answer for you. It was Alyssa. And when she didn't feel like fishing with us anymore, she went up and she took care. She played with my dogs, and Michelle and her had a great time. So,
Good answer. Good answer.
Yep.
All right. Question number two. Out of all the people that have not made it out to the dock yet, who's on your list to come out?
Well, first up is Freddie and Nina.
Oh, Nina. Listen at her right there. He doesn't know yet because I haven't been there.
Yeah, literally, Freddie and Nina drove, Freddie at least, they drove by my house within a mile 3 times coming up and down the highway going back and forth to Richmond and DC, and didn't even stop for a potty break or stop for a cup of coffee or a breakfast sandwich or nothing like that.
Well, he messaged me. He said, I could stop at Tom's, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that he's even coming up there.
And anyway, Tom, what we were talking about. I love having this button.
Yep.
Your power can be revoked. Call you Mark Jr.
Troy even says it's great with me having that button.
Troy, don't encourage him. You know what we need to do on the bait shop that we haven't done in a while? We need to get back to picking on the people in chat because we have not done this in a while. Troy's on my list now. What did he say?
Who has been there
the
the most?
And who has traveled the longest to get there?
Well, Chris and Telly have traveled the longest, without a doubt. Well, no. That's wrong. Lisa Fishing Chick.
Yeah.
Drove here from Arizona.
Yeah.
But Chris and Telly have been here outside of the locals, the one-tons and Stan and Aaron and those people. The guests that have come the furthest, the most times, it's Chris and Telly.
Well, not all of us have that Chris Lee money, and where we only also have to work like 6 months out of the year, like he does. Thank God for Telly, who basically supports him. She works like 8 days a week. And hey, Scott Square.
I'm that comment right there. Yeah, we just didn't know you lived that close to the highway. Well, she didn't anyway.
Well, literally, when you get here and you see the dock, Freddie, you can see the 85 bridge that you drove over from the dock. It's a quarter mile up the road from. Yeah, you can actually see it. You could have waved to us.
Yeah, I remember because I was there. I stopped.
Yep.
I visited.
Yep.
Unlike Freddie, who had 3 times the opportunity than we did.
Hey, Chad, I'm gonna be his neighbor for a whole week, literally.
Yep. Who caught their first blue cat there?
Well, it wouldn't have been your first blue cat. I tried to get Chris to catch a blue cat for 6 months before he ever went on that trip.
Well, I was here when Telly caught her PB, but that was on Kerr, not at the dock. And there is an absolutely hysterical video of that fish catch.
I do. I remember that video. That was good. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Is that on his channel or was that? Yeah, I think they dropped that on his Hooks and Hammocks channel at one point.
Yeah.
Nina's like, Nina, go get back to work, woman. You don't need to be in chat. She's right. I don't like stopping. It don't matter how far we're going. I hit the gas and I'm gone. I don't stop unless we got to stop to get gas. And usually that's 4 hours, 5 hours down the road.
See, I can't drive like that anymore. You know, I got to get out every hour, hour and a half or so, just to stretch my legs.
Yeah, depending on it. Normally 2 to 3 hours is about my limit before I don't want to pull over and do a stretch or two. But I've been known to go as long as a 4-hour ride before making a stop. If I'm doing like a 6 to 7 hour drive, I want to stop one time at max.
Yeah.
Well,
I know the answer to Dee's question. I know the answer to that question.
Well, what is it, Tom?
It's Miss D. She caught it. I believe it was a channel cat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
but
it was a channel cat
on the live while Chad was doing Catfish Weekly from the dock.
That's right.
Yep. So I don't know. We looked into it. I think at one time years ago that there used to be some live fishing on Catfish Weekly, because I was wondering if D was the only person to ever catch a fish on Catfish Weekly, but I think in years past there were others. But I thought it was pretty impressive.
I think there's been a few that have been out there that I remember fishing, but she is the first from the dock, and I believe she was the first female.
Awesome.
So
yes, and Nina makes me stop every 2 to 3 hours driving now because being a nurse, you got to get out, stretch your legs, walk around so you don't get blood clots in your legs, and you know how bad those are. So 2 to 3 hours max driving before you stop, according to Nurse Nina, okay?
Did you call her Nino?
Nurse Nina, okay.
You're married to her and gave her name right.
Well, I kind of do that anyways. I drink a lot of fluid, a lot of water, basically, or coffee if it's early.
Yeah, I like coffee flavored water.
Yeah, so I tend to get out and stretch my legs, and I know pretty much when I was traveling from here to DC, I know where all the clean restrooms are and all the places where all the Dunkin' Donut coffee stores were. So I knew where I could get off the highway and do my business and get a coffee and get back on pretty quickly. So I'm used to getting up and stretching a little bit when I drive. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere anymore.
There's no need for it.
If I'm traveling, I am and I'm not, because, vacation time is typically limited. And, if I'm going out somewhere like your house, right, or your area, that's a 12-hour drive, including stops. And at the same time, I want to get there. I want to see the people I go to see, and I want to be on the water fishing as much as I can. So,
yep.
Let's see.
Look, she puts me in my place enough there, Sean T. Trust me.
All my friends, I just want to say thank you for the prayers. My test went great and doesn't have cancer. God bless you once again. That is awesome.
That's
Kentucky
great.
Redneck.
That's awesome, Kentucky. That's great news. Happy for you.
Nick Hoagland Fishing and Silver Fox Sandy have joined us. I don't know how long they've been here, but I just saw them.
Sandy's been in there a few minutes. I seen her. I said hi to Sandy earlier. I did not see.
Scott Swift has joined us as well.
Yep, Mr. Swift and Joy. So Tom, what's the future of LGBASS? What's going on? We haven't seen DuckTales in a little while. I see some videos being put out of some mail calls and stuff recently. What's going on with LGBASS in the future here?
I'm closing in on a decision on whether I'm going to continue with the DuckTales. We did 31 episodes.
Yeah. And they were good and different, and they did go downhill after mine. I mean, it's hard to top that one, but it was your lowest viewed DuckTales ever, but that's okay.
But then after UD came on, and things went right back up again.
Yeah. That's very true.
until somebody
Anyway.
mentioned baloney, and then it was all baloney every show after that.
It was baloney. You know, the baloney episode with Michael, it's the second most viewed episode. And that was the very first one where we just went long.
Baloney equals views. Baloney, 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 baloney.
Baloney. But we went like 3 hours and 15 minutes. And prior to that show, we had never done anything like that. We just stopped when we ran out of questions. But the chat was rolling that night. And at some point, we couldn't even keep up with the chat because the conversation was going so fast. And Michael is just such a funny guy. But he has been overtaken. There's one show that garnered more views than him. Mr.
Really?
Tim Molina.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
Tim Molina has almost 500 views.
Wow.
Not to sway your decision.
492 views.
Not to sway your decision to never do it again. But Chris and Telly has not been on there.
Well, you know, there'll be two couples up there in a few weeks. Maybe you could have, if you do decide to shut it down, maybe one last Doc Tales with two couples at once. I'm just saying, live.
Well, yeah, I mean that's open. To be honest, Chris, I don't know if that's Chris or Telly.
That'd be Chris.
I know that they go to bed early, and you know I'd see them come into the chat, you know, a little bit at the beginning, and then they'd sign out and all. So I didn't really want to put them in a position if they're getting up early, but I would love to have them on the show if we keep going. And to be honest, I felt bad that I hadn't asked them, but I didn't, with their schedule, I didn't want to put them on the spot.
I'm okay. I can't get guests for my show, but I'm lining them up for you, pal.
That's it. Let me get out my little notepad that Rhonda gave me. I start taking names.
Yeah.
To get back to that, we took a break, Jody and I, from doing the show. We were, I think, a little burned out. Not just the show itself, but we were both having some issues going on, and I think that we took a break, and then we were like, well, actually, kind of having the break is nice for a little bit. You know what I mean? And I look back, it was June was the last episode, and Michelle will tell you she's still outside, but she would confirm this. I am insufferable on Wednesdays when I have a show because I am a worrier. I worry about how the show's going to go, and if I'm going to make a fool of myself, and if my mouth is going to get running faster than my brain.
Just pretend you're me.
Yeah, just be like us.
You're guaranteed to make a fool of yourself. You're, yeah.
But she'll tell you I get all wound up and worked up, and she says I'm not a nice person. Wednesday afternoon.
Thanks, Mark.
So to that end, it hasn't gotten easier for me to do the show. Like I'm just as nervous before the show now, at episode 31 that I was in the first one. As you probably heard, Jody asked me to do the show, and I thought I was going to be her co-host on her channel. And 24 hours later, she had a guest and a thumbnail, and we were going live on my channel that we had just created. It caught me totally by surprise. It was not something that I had geared for or got ready for or gave any thought to. I had 24 hours to dip my feet in the fire, and so to that end, I'm not. It doesn't come naturally. Let's put it that way. We'll say that. But when the show is over, I always feel good, and I said, "Man, Michelle and I will talk how the show went, and she'll tell me what I didn't see in the chat or what somebody had said or commented on, and it feels good." But I mean, I'm just like a nervous wreck before the show starts.
Coffee money, bacon money. Thanks, Reddy.
So I'm rethinking it. I'm getting close to a decision. I'm thinking, I've been looking at my analytics a little bit recently since I haven't had the show, and it's something I never used to do. I have 3.9K watch hours, but I only have 431 subs. So it's like, I'm like everybody else who gets the 1,000 and then they need the watch hours. I got plenty of watch hours that it might take me another year to get to. I really only want the 500, to be honest.
So make sure if you're not subbed, I know it was dropped. I have it in the description. LGBASS is linked.
I appreciate that.
Again, him and Miss Michelle, the cooking channel, get them guys up there. But yeah, the watch hours seem to be, when you're a live streamer, the watch hours are I think a lot easier than the sub count.
Yeah.
It was definitely seemed to be more difficult for me, and I was a once a week kind of guy, and I had like 10,000 watch hours, and at one point it took me I had like 600 subs, and I was like, good Lord, I'm never going to get there. But yeah, it's definitely difficult. It's a grind. So,
well, that's kind of like special episodes.
Instead of doing a weekly, maybe just do a.
We could do something like that. I think if I am going to do it, I'm going to go all in on it. I'm going to try to maybe, I wouldn't say change it, but look at it and see if there's anything I can tweak. Things to say, I'm really not all that technically skilled, and I know nothing about YouTube or StreamYard. So to that end,
people like your personality, and just as long as you're having fun with it, don't make it feel like a job. That's the big thing. Like tonight, week to week, we don't know what we're talking about, whatever, how the conversation is going to go, what we're going to, try to fill in the gaps with and stuff like that. But this has been a great conversation. Thanks, Telly. I give credit to Telly on that one. But yeah, that's a big thing, man. Just have fun with it and enjoy it, and just pretend the camera's not really even there. But I do have to tell you, because you started to tell you for some reason sparked it in my brain, but you said that you had done like 30 something shows, and I was like, I wonder how many I've done. And I went back and checked. We did 71 shows on Fishing with the Chad.
Wow.
And this is show number 35. So this is the 106th bait shop.
Wow.
I did not realize we did that many shows.
Huh. That's kind of where I'm at. Like with the 31, like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot to somebody that's had a show for longer than that. But like, if I restart it, when does it end? I mean, I don't necessarily want to have a show running for years. Having to every Wednesday night having to be here at a certain time, and so if I restart it, I mean, I don't know when that time will come, or whether the time is here, but I'm giving it serious thought, and I may be leaning that way. There's been a couple things that have come up when I thought I was ready to pull the trigger and do it, and I got set back twice on something that I wanted to do, and I got somebody beat me to it, and so I've been biding my time again. But I think that there'll probably be something out before you come here, Freddie. That there will be a decision made.
That'd be awesome.
So that's what, 3 weeks away now? 4 weeks? 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Yeah. I think I'll make a decision pretty soon. That I'm either gonna let everybody know, because I'm starting to get questions. For the longest time, I think we were down for a month and nobody even asked. It didn't even come up. Hey, where's DocTales? Nobody was sending me any messages. But now I'm starting to hear people asking about it, and so I am trying to be as diplomatic as I can be.
Yeah.
And
it was always on too late for me as well. Most of the time, I used to watch it in the mornings. And then it kind of got to where people were live in the morning when I woke up. So,
right.
that kind of stuff. So
you dropped me.
So I kind of dropped you. We got, but it's been more in the last couple months, to be honest with you, that, oh my God, guys, that, I've been doing that because, work's been so crazy. But Mr. Tom, it has been a wonderful evening. I do appreciate you agreeing to, we talked about this a while back, you and Aaron. And I know Aaron's, his work schedule and then, other stuff and all that kind of stuff going on. So I was very appreciative that you said yes to being on the bait shop. I think
it's my pleasure. I tell you, was it last Thursday night, right after chat ended, and I got a quick message from him. Would you consider being on the bait shop next week or ever?
Or ever.
Or ever. So I couldn't let that go. Absolutely. I'm happy to do it.
I appreciate it. We'll have you back. Have to have you back one of these days, man. And even if Freddie, doesn't think as highly of you as I do,
whatever.
He already said that he's not looking forward to Michelle's cooking.
Whatever. I specifically got a place like in his neighborhood so I could see him more.
Well, I should say the only time Chad was ever drove by, he stopped. So
that's right. That's right. I'm 100%. You are in zero, sir, and that is all.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, Freddie. I can't wait for you to get here.
We can't either.
We do. Dee and I adore you, and I know Freddie and Nina think highly of you as well. So
same here.
You're always welcome back. Love to have you back one of these days. And we're going to shut her down because we got Panfish Nation coming on right after us.
Yep.
Any final words to your adoring fans?
I'd say thanks for inviting me. I have a great time, and like I said, you're always welcome to come back. And if we fire the DuckTales back up, you're more than welcome to come back on there too. But more than anything, I just like it if you'd come back and visit us again.
We will definitely be back to visit you one of these days, and I wouldn't mind doing another DuckTales so I can redeem myself and get some more views than that first one, man. Because it's hard.
Yeah. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. That was a great show. We had a great conversation. That was one of the first shows where I really felt comfortable in the show. Was talking to you, and when I went back and watched it, I said, "Man, we had a great conversation."
That's what I said, bro.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie, any final words, my friend?
Panfish Nation next. We'll see y'all next Thursday.
Yes, we have Fish Flex next, Mr. Sean Chili.